Well, hello. I tried to get my other webcam to hook up, and I swear it was just not having it. So here we are with this quality, but it's okay. I'm just going to be live for maybe like 30 minutes or so, just hanging out. And I'm just going to wait. I did post on Instagram that I was going live. So let me see. Hello. You guys can start saying hi in the chat just so I know that you're here and that you can hear me. Can you hear me? I want to make sure that you can hear me. Hello. Please say yes. Please say yes. You can hear me if you can hear me. I feel like the typical like person on stream talking, like put a 1 in the chat. Okay, let's see. Hello. Again, if you weren't here from the beginning, I tried to hook up my camera, my extra webcam, but for some reason it's not hooking up. I don't know why. Oh, you're welcome for the course. Seriously, I'm so excited. This is something that I've been wanting to do for so long now. And when I first thought about doing a course, I originally wanted to do like a full like candle business course. But man, it it proved to be something that was probably going to take like over a year, if not longer, because I'm somebody who just wants to be super detailed and I don't want to make it big just to like make it big and then not have good information in it. So with this one, I decided to do the shipping one because so many people have so many issues and troubles and all that kind of stuff when it comes to shipping. So I'm like, yeah, that's definitely probably the first one that I'm going to want to go to. Hello, everyone. I'm getting everybody saying hi. Yes, you can hear me. Okay, good. I'm glad. Okay, perfect. So you guys can throw any questions at me that you want. In case you're curious on what I mean by this shipping course, it's really designed for anybody that is either in the process of getting started with launching a candle business, or if you are wanting to or if you're already launched in your candle business and you feel like you may be losing money on shipping or you still don't really understand it and you're just kind of doing the bare minimum just to get by. I've had so much experience and so much like hands-on uh, experience, I guess, of shipping things out. And I just kind of put together everything in the course just so it's very curated, it's step by step to go through. And it's really just to help anybody that is struggling in that area of business. So, hello, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for commenting in the chat. With this, I really just kind of wanted to hang out because I've been so busy with just so many things, lots and lots of things. I thought it would just be fun to just go live for maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, and just kind of hang out with you guys this Monday morning. I know that Monday mornings, especially this time of day, is kind of one of those times that like I'm not expecting a ton of people to be available at this time, but I'm curious if you could leave me in the comment section below. I mean, what is a good time to go live? I mean, I don't know. Is it better in the morning? Is it better in the afternoon? I just kind of, wanted to hop on this morning. Um, let me see. I need to get a drink of water. I swear when I was getting everything together this morning, I didn't eat or drink for hours and hours. I woke up at 6 this morning. That's not like me at all. I usually am like, can roll out of bed and eat breakfast right away. Hello. Afternoon in CA. Does CA mean California or Canada? I don't think California because I'm in California. Oh, somebody said, is this for any business or just candles and in bulk? I specifically give candle examples. I think that a lot of the principles that I talk about in the course can be kind of tailored to other businesses. Like you'd be able to take the principles in the course and be able to use it for other businesses. But it's definitely all the examples are candles. But when I talk about like shipping prices and setting shipping prices and all that kind of stuff, that definitely could be kind of for any business, anybody shipping out stuff. Let's see. For from joining lives, I see more people afternoon, evenings, but I personally love morning live sessions. Yeah, I do too. I think it's just kind of really I don't know, just mellow and getting the day started off good. And I've tried not to have a lot of anxiety about this whole thing because I don't know, it's the first time I'm launching something like this and I'm like, are people going to like it? Like I know that it's something that people have been wanting just because I've been on YouTube for 3 years now, and I have gotten nonstop questions about shipping, and even though I do have a good amount of shipping, videos and stuff on my channel, I feel like there's a difference when you can really do, like, a step by step, like, "Okay, well, just walk me through everything, kinda tell me what I need to know in this." Basically, like, you can start off not knowing anything, and then by the end of the course, you're fully prepared to set up shipping prices on your website and feel confident enough to get your items shipped out and know that you're not losing money and all that kind of stuff. Um, so the course is $97 in case anybody's wondering. I don't know if I'm going to change the price in the future. I have absolutely no idea. So it might change in the future. I might not. I really have no idea. Um, your makeup is the best. Oh, thank you. It was so funny. I was gonna put my hair in braids because I just didn't know what to do with it. But it actually isn't too bad right now. But makeup wise, yeah, that was thrown together right before going live. So I appreciate that. Um, let me see. Somebody said I would like a course on creating a website. So I think that that is actually next on my list. I'm definitely somebody who needs and loves to work on a project at one time, and I get really kind of engrossed in it. So the fact that this shipping course is kind of done and I've completed it, it's not that I don't like I'm gonna just kind of let that go off to the side. Obviously, I'm gonna keep adding to it if I need to or getting feedback on the course and stuff like that. But I definitely want to do how to create a Shopify website because that's personally what I am most familiar with. That's what I have the most experience with. Even before creating my candle business, I actually had created a couple different Shopify websites from different business ventures that I tried out in the past. So just overall, I'm most familiar with Shopify. So I have had other people mention that they would like more videos on creating a website. So I think that adding more videos to my YouTube channel and then also doing kind of the same thing of like a curated kind of course for a website would definitely be something that I am looking into doing. Oh, Vanessa, when starting a website, would you go with Wix or Shopify? I I'm biased in this question just because again, I only know Shopify. So I've never tried Wix before. I know there's Squarespace, Wix, Big Cartel. There's all these different kinds of hosting platforms that you're able to build a website off of. But I only know Shopify out of all of them. And I just prefer it just because again, that's all that I know. Um, how do you feel more confident? How do you feel more confident to launch? I plan to launch for a long time, but never confident enough. So I think that that can be very challenging. And the only thing that I can suggest when it comes to confidence and building confidence with you and your business and your product is just being fully um, basically being as educated and knowledgeable as possible. So, a lot of times when we don't feel confident in something, it's because we either have never done it and no experience with it, or we don't know anything about it. So, we're just like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. And then that leads to lack of confidence. So, in order to launch and feel confident, the best way to do that is to educate, research as much as you can so that you can feel confident about what you're selling and specifically with the testing process. If you're somebody who's watching who sells or who makes and sells candles, that is definitely something that you'll want to focus on because the more confident you are with your product, the easier it's going to be for you to talk about and sell your product. If you don't feel confident talking about your product and knowing, like, hey, I got an awesome product, then it's going to be difficult for you to want to sell it. Just like if you've ever worked in any kind of sales job or even any kind of retail job, really, um, and you have to talk about the product, if you like and understand and you're knowledgeable about the product, you feel way more confident. At my last job, it was a body waxing center. It was called European Wax Center, and us at the front desk, we were also responsible for selling the product on the shelves. And so I spent a lot of time educating myself on how to use the product. I'd use the product myself. I'd learn, the basic ingredients in it. I'd learn what it did, and it was just kind of something that I just wanted to take the time to learn all of that. And the more I learned, the more confident I was in it. And then I'd be able to really sell the product. So I just say the more you know, the more confident you are. That was kind of a long way around it, um but that's, the only thing that I can go off of based off of my experience. Um, oh, thank you. Somebody clarified. She's saying in the afternoon, but she's in California. Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. Yeah, that's hard because I know that everyone's kind of from everywhere. I'm just over on the West Coast over here. So for me, it's not even 10 o'clock in the morning. Um, so again, I appreciate even just 50 something of you guys are here. That's awesome. I really wasn't knowing how many people were able to kind of tune in right now. So that's really cool. Um, Let's see. So I am going to. Okay, somebody said, can we use just soy 10 wax for candles, or does it have to be blended with another wax to perform well? So again, for me personally, I think soy 10 performs amazing on its own. The only issue that you can run into is the diameter of the jar. So, a lot of times when people say that jars are hard to wick, it mainly has to do with the fact that the combination of the wick that you're using with the diameter of the jar, and obviously most of the time the wax that's in there as well, it can be so frustrating because you'll find that one wick is too small, the other wick on the next size up is too big. And then if you're trying to over wick up to make sure that you're getting that melt pool, the flame goes crazy, you get smoke, you get soot, you get all that stuff going on. So that's why for me personally, when I am using my jars over here, so these are the 13.5 ounce Cali jars. And those ones right there are a 3.25 inch diameter. So I say anything that's a little bit under 3 inches and up until a little bit over 3 inches is like the hardest diameter to wick. I swear it's super hard. And I do use two wicks. I use double wick, but the only thing about that is that a lot of times the 3.25 inches is too small of a diameter to double wick. So that's when you can go into blending different waxes, changing up the total, basically the total melt pool temperature. Melt point temperature of the wax to essentially make it to where takes longer, takes more strength and more heat for the wicks to burn it all the way, if that makes sense. Another sip of water. By the way, this water bottle, so much better than the Hydro Flasks. I just have to say that. I love this thing so much. It's easier to clean and it doesn't get all gross like the Hydro Flasks do. So in case you're wondering, I just love that thing. So let me see. Somebody said, can you speak about how much we can possibly make selling candles? This is an interesting question. And I think obviously I know that the answer of it just depends is probably not what you all are looking for, but it really does. And I truly believe, especially over the last I would say the last 6 weeks, um, our business, Chris is basically a part of my business now. Me and Chris are like working on the business together. He's no longer at his other job. We are in this business together and I need his help every single day. It's fantastic. We've gotten multiple wholesale orders. This is the busiest season we've ever had. And I'm just so grateful for that, honestly. But what it's taught me is that, like, you really have to try to think differently. think differently with how you're going to market yourself, on how you want to reach your target audience, and how you're going to increase your sales. Um, and I really do believe that the amount of money that you can make on your candle business relies completely on the actions that you take and how you go about marketing yourself, and how much you're willing to customize your business. I did a private label order. I'm working with a client right now who basically she has her label on my candle, so it's private label. A lot of people don't like the thought of that. I know that Chris was not real wild about that in the beginning, because it's kind of like, oh, somebody's taking credit for your work, but it's just a matter of doing business and how you're wanting to expand and grow. And it definitely makes money doing that. So I've always known, you guys have always known, if you've followed me for a long time, I've always talked about like, oh, I need to do wholesale. I need to do wholesale. And recently it's just been like way, way more like at this time of the year. I've gotten multiple wholesale orders. And I also got two large retail orders as well. So I guess to answer your question, of course, it just depends, but it just really matters on how much action, how much work you really put into all of that to try to make as much money as possible. Because for some people, I know that it can be really hard to just get, a couple sales a month. And then other people are able to live off of the income. And to be honest, that's not us yet. But these last 6 weeks have definitely kind of shown me like, wow, the potential with it is freaking awesome. Like it's awesome. So I hope that answered your question. I know it's kind of hard to specify because again, you could ask so many different candle makers, specifically candle business owners, and so many people make different amounts of money. And people have different goals too. Some people want to just make, a few $100s on the side and be able to turn their craft and their hobby into a business. And then other people want to open up a brick and mortar. So it really just depends. Um, Let me see. Oh, thank you. Congratulations on your sales. Thank you. Um, okay, Amanda, you said, is the shipping course suitable for those outside of the US? I'm in Canada. So I did put a couple different disclaimers on kind of the sales page of the shipping course because of the fact that I only know shipping I only know shipping within the US and also shipping from the US to international. I don't know anything. I think it's called like Canada Post. I had somebody email me about that. So I I wouldn't probably recommend that it would be worth it because so much of the information in it is talking about USPS, UPS, which I don't know, is UPS, is that also international? Do people use UPS? What does UPS stand for? I know USPS is United States Postal Service. I don't know what UPS stands for. That's pretty bad. Um, so I don't know if it would be worth it for you. Like I wouldn't want anybody to spend money on something if they couldn't get like the full use out of the course, basically. Um, Let me see. I have people saying, yes, Shopify. Yes, need Shopify lessons. Um, okay, awesome. Yeah. I know that building a website, I know how daunting that is, like how much work and how much energy and how confusing it is. And I've changed up my website so many times. I'm really happy with the way that my website looks like right now. So super stoked on that. And also before I forget, I'm actually going to head over here and go back to live. And then just in the chat, in case anybody's interested just to check it out, there's a link to the shipping course. I realized I didn't put that in the chat. Let me see. Oh, United Parcel Service. Thank you. I feel like I should know that. I know the acronyms, and I got to be honest, in the course, saying USPS and UPS in the course, the amount of takes I had to do to not screw that up was really funny. Let me see. Oh, thank you so much. Congratulations on your success. You definitely deserve it. Always so kind and helpful. Thank you. I truly I had no idea that I would enjoy the process of just sharing what I do all the time, pretty much as I love running my actual candle business. Like I get so excited whenever I find something out or there's something that I get like a realization on and then I get to share it with you. It's great because I think that a lot of times if we don't have this community, it's like everybody's going to be making the same mistakes versus if you're around a community and you can learn from other people's mistakes and learn from their experience, it just helps people out so much by doing it that way. Um, can you do another video on wholesale and pricing? Yeah, I probably could. I feel like I definitely need to do an updated pricing video and kind of go into that because even doing this course, it made me think like, wow, I should have set up my pricing. I should have done it so differently in the beginning. And that's why, I explained what I did in the course and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like the pricing can be a challenge, because it's like you don't wanna price too high on your candles, and then you don't wanna price too low, and you need to know your cost of goods. So short answer to that, yes, I definitely can. Um, somebody said, "Should I get an LLC first?" And, um, this is a question for a business attorney and a CPA, but my personal experience and my personal, I guess, take on this is because if you don't know the difference between LLC and sole proprietor, because I've had a lot of people make, uh, send me messages and comments and all that kind of stuff, because I know that the legal side is very confusing. The terms, trust me, I've had to learn all of it. That's another thing that if you learn that side, the tax side, the legal side, it just builds that much more confidence and it makes you feel really actually like legit, I guess, in your business. You feel like, oh my gosh, this is real. Like this is a real business right now. When I incorporated my business, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is real. When I was sitting in that conference room at my business attorney's office, I'm like, this is real. Like I'm actually doing this right now. So that's crazy. But sole proprietor, LLC. Sole proprietor is essentially just you don't have to register for it. So like if you go and sell something, the money that you make from that, you're automatically a sole proprietor. So under your social security number, that makes you a sole proprietor because you are just you're just the business essentially. So just any money that you make from anything, it goes under your social security number. It goes into a lump sum with all of the income that you made from like a regular day job. And that's what a sole proprietor is. The only difference is that if you are selling, let's say, like you have like Dreams Candle Co. or something like that, like your candle business name, you have to get what's called a DBA, which is a doing business as. And that, and that is, sorry, I'm laughing at my husband in the chat. Uh, so a doing business as is basically where you're essentially, so I would be like Erica Morris, DBA Memory Box Candle Co. And that just legally allows you to sell under a different name other than your name that's registered under your social security number. So sole proprietor, your birth name, your social security number. And then if you get a DBA, you have to do DBA in order to have that connected and legally sell under that name. Hope that makes sense. The only difference between the two is that if you get an LLC, you are essentially separating your personal assets from your business assets. So, what can be challenging with a sole proprietor is that everything is lumped together. So, in case, God forbid, something happens, a lawsuit, anything like that, your personal assets are essentially at risk. So that's a very bare bones, basic definition of all of it. Um, let me see. Oh, somebody said hit the like button. Yes, thank you. That is so nice. Hit the like button, everybody. If everybody hit the like button, we could get 60 something likes right now. I think. Yeah, something like that. Somebody said, is selling on Instagram possible without a website? Um, I have heard that people have done that. I know that there's so many different ways of selling and a lot of people are able to make that work and, take payment, send them to, let's say, like a PayPal address or something like that. But I personally probably would want to, if I was selling on Instagram, I would probably take payment through Taplink. So Taplink, if you go to my Instagram bio, that is a Taplink, and it's similar to Linktree, although I like Taplink better because you're able to just customize it so much more. Um, so, uh, so, um, so you're able to basically add in photos and links and all that kind of stuff. And I think they actually allow you to take payment. So that's probably the way that I would do it. And you would probably just have to, focus on marketing on Instagram and all that kind of stuff. I definitely think it's possible. And I think people have done that before. Um, I didn't personally do it just because I know that in terms of I wanted to be as not that to say that if you just sell on Instagram, it's not professional, but you kind of have to think about it as okay, if you were to purchase from a company, would you want to purchase through Instagram or through DMs or something like that? Or would you want to purchase from an actual website and look a little bit more professional? So that's kind of how I think about it. And also, Shopify is like $30 a month to like keep it up and running. So it's not too much of a cost to be able to do that. But I think that if you are, let's say, just selling locally, so if you are somebody who is just wanting to do local sales, like let's say you're doing a lot of pop-ups and stuff like that, um, you can probably tell people like, "Hey, I don't have a website, but if you want to order locally, you can DM me or you can go to this link or whatever it is and be able to do sales that way." That's probably the only way that I would recommend to just be selling on Instagram, is if you're going to be connecting it kind of to your local community. But you also never know. If you are really hyping up your marketing, if you're posting, let's say, tons of reels, they're getting a lot of views, a lot of interest, and you have people asking for your candles, and you don't have a website yet, I don't see any issue with using just Instagram as a way to collect the payment. Um, Most definitely. So let's see. Somebody said, can we reuse wax that is left over in my melting pot? So if you're talking about something like this, so I have a digiboil, or if you're talking about something like a Presto pot, yes, yeah, you can. So what we do is we actually can heat this up, and sometimes it's filled up like almost to the top, and you're able to get it completely melted down up to temperature. So we melt it and keep it at around like between 190, 195 ish, and then you're able to just take out. So basically, you put the wax into the pouring pitcher, and then you're able to put in whatever amount of fragrance oil into the pouring pitcher. So there's no fragrance that goes inside of the digiboil. And then you can just turn it off when you're done. It hardens back up. Then when you're ready to make candles again, you just reheat it. I don't even know how many times I've reheated probably the same kind of wax in there. We're always refilling it. So the old wax and the new wax kind of gets blended, but I've never had any performance issues when it comes to that kind of stuff. So they all will, it works just fine. You can, that's the best part about having a larger pot like that you're not adding fragrance oil into, is the fact that you can reheat it and let it solidify over and over again and just use what you need when you're making candles. Let me see. Oh, is Taplink free or you pay for it? You do pay for it. I think I used the business version and I just re-upped it. It was, I think, $76 for the year, or it's like a monthly payment of something. For all my links that I have on there, it's definitely worth it for me. They do have different levels though, so you may want to look into the different levels if that works better for you. Or honestly, Linktree might be better than what it was. I just remember it being very basic, but maybe they've upgraded it since then. Let me see. So we got, would you recommend starting on Etsy, Shopify, or both? I was planning to start on Etsy for now to test the waters and make sure people like my candles, but I love the idea of making my own website. I think that this is, again, such a personal decision on what you want to do. I personally did start off on Etsy. And I actually talked about this recently in my video where I talked about like my mistakes of my, what mistakes I made in my business. And one of the mistakes that I do regret doing is actually not keeping my Etsy shop. So I moved after a year from Etsy over to Shopify to my own website. And I regretted not keeping both because I was confused on I thought that I was going to be confused on how to keep track of inventory. Now I understand that I think there's a lot of apps that can kind of do that and kind of connect it together. But I would recommend that if you are somebody who's looking to just get started and you either have a lot of people that are just wanting to purchase from you and you just need to get it up and have people, be able to purchase from you pretty easily and pretty fast, then Etsy is going to be your best bet because you're able to not have to worry about the whole website, the whole way that it looks. You don't have to, I mean, the amount of work that making your own Shopify website is compared to Etsy is like hands down, like it's not comparable at all. It's so much more work to create your own website than it is for Etsy. Um, so again, it's so hard to answer because I personally started on Etsy. I didn't even think about starting on my own website. I was thinking, okay, well, I want to be able to have the audience that Etsy has. And I also came from selling a lot on eBay. So I'm used to that kind of platform setting where there's tons and tons of buyers that could potentially find you. So I think going from where I was selling on eBay when I was a reseller selling clothing, that definitely changed or impacted my decision making on starting on Etsy because I thought, well, I need to work on building an audience and I don't know if I'll be able to bring in all my sales myself. So I'm going to start on Etsy. And now I'm like, man, I should do both, honestly, because the more eyes that could potentially see your product, the better it'll be, and the more likely you'll get sales. So I think that starting on either is a really great choice. But there is something really great about having your own website and being able to have people know your brand name because you're building a brand awareness more with the website than you are with Etsy. A lot of people don't really remember the shops that they purchase from, the name of the shops that they purchase from on Etsy. So I definitely know that if you do get started on Etsy, you should either have both Etsy and your own website or migrate over to your own website. So I think the ultimate goal out of everything is to have your own website. So I hope that answers your question a little bit. Um, Let me see. Can you talk a little bit about inventory apps? How do you keep track of it all? Love your videos. Thank you so much. Um, that is that is something that I have been doing since I want to say it was about 6 months into business. I had Diana from Inventora. So Diana is the owner of Terra. So Terra Simply, if you follow her on Instagram. And she also has with her fiance, they have Inventora, which is an inventory software program. And they wanted me to try it out and use it. And I've been using it ever since, thank goodness. And that's what I use. I taught it to Chris, my husband. Now he takes care of all the inventory for me and he just tells me like from across the room like, hey, we need to order more of this, and I just go online and I just order it. So very helpful. But I do recommend, especially at this time of year, because we're going to be going into tax season soon. So tax season, what, like February, March, April. And at the end of this year, if you don't already have an inventory software program, highly, highly, highly recommend you get on it, whether it's Inventora or something else, and get all your inventory in there. Because your CPA, if you've been in business and everything, your CPA will need to know your inventory value at the end of the year because that goes into play with taxes and everything. Um, Let me see. So we got, I'm probably only going to be on here for just a little bit longer. Chris is on a long walk with Brody, and I'm pretty sure he's probably wanting to come back inside soon. He kind of took him out. Otherwise, I'd have Brody like panting all over the place. um, yes, your own website is hard but good. Yeah, I agree. It can be a challenge, but man, I've been probably I was really proud, obviously, when I opened up my Etsy shop, but I was even more proud when I opened up my website and I'm like, look at it's just space on the internet just for me and my products. And then I keep like updating and changing it because you'll have different ideas of how you want to design and all that kind of stuff. So I recently just went through a new kind of redesign for my winter collection that I really like. So um yeah, I would say that, wait, what is Etsy is now making their sellers verify their bank accounts through a sketchy third-party company that already had a lawsuit for stealing data. I'm thinking about either using Wix or Shopify. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. I know that there are some companies that will use a third-party system to basically connect the bank accounts. I've used multiple different services that have done that before, but I don't necessarily know exactly which that one is. Um, Let me see. So, I mean, yeah, get started on Shopify or Wix. Yeah, absolutely. I again, just like I was saying before, the ultimate goal would be to have your own place on the internet. Have you don't want to constantly just be having your products in direct competition with somebody else's, and that's what a lot of the times can happen when you're on Etsy because it's like, oh, if you like this candle, you might like all of these, and they're like all different shops. And if somebody's like, oh, I like this one better, and then they go over and they were on yours and they were thinking about it, but then they saw a competition or a competitor and they decided to get it. So let me see. I'm probably gonna wrap it up here, but somebody said any tips on how to save shipping costs when sourcing jars from Candle Science, for example. I mean, I know that the more in bulk that you purchase, the cheaper it's going to be. I'm extremely lucky that I have my candle jar supplier within driving distance, so I don't have to pay shipping on it. But I know that when I am paying shipping, the more I purchase at a time, the cheaper the shipping is going to be. Or you can try to break up the shipment. Sometimes you have to, if you're wanting to order, let's say 500 jars, you can try to see how much it would be if you ordered like one of 250 jars and the other of 250 jars and see if that shipping's cheaper. I've had to do that before on the flaming candle because for me, the flaming candle is very expensive. I think they're in Georgia. It's somewhere on the East Coast. So it's more expensive for me to purchase from the flaming candle. So sometimes I've had to break up my shipment before and that ends up being cheaper. So again, I understand shipping. I understand, especially when they're trying to do calculated shipping, it's not always going to give you the cheapest option. So I totally get that. Which is again what I teach. What I teach in the shipping course is that not to use calculated shipping and how to do it in a way to where you're choosing the best and the cheapest shipping method as much as possible. Um, how to know which fragrance to pick. I'm having a hard time with picking different fragrances that will give a nice smell. I mean, we are surrounded by thousands and thousands and thousands of fragrance options. I mean, how many different fragrances could we probably purchase from all the different suppliers? Like, there's tons and tons. The only way that I could say to choose is a couple of different ways. You can choose a bunch of different samples, have your friends and family smell them, pick their favorites, or you can essentially start out your candle business and just put out a bunch of testers. Not really testers, you know what I mean? Like put out, let's say you choose 7 different fragrances and you put it on your shop and you see which ones sell the best. Whichever ones either don't sell or don't sell very well, change that out and bring out a new scent and see how that one does. And it's basically like you're trying to make it to where you're able to have the market decide which scents are going to be the best ones to choose. That's probably the best way to go about it. You can do friends and family. You can let the market decide and let them decide how that goes. But I think I'm going to end today's video right here. I know I always say this, but I know I need to do more lives and just hang out. For some reason, I always think like it's going to be anxiety inducing, but it's really not. I just hang out, answer questions. So I think I am going to, again, end today's video right here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning. I really appreciate it. Just, I love just answering your questions and getting to do kind of one-on-ones with you guys that are able to make it to the live stream and everything. But if you are interested in the course, I will leave the link again right here. When I upload this video, it will be in the description if it's something that you're interested in and you think it would help you at whatever stage you are in your business. I really appreciate all of you, all the support, all of just everything. I just want to make sure that I can help you guys in any way that I can. So I'm going to be making more products and more just kind of these curated products, digital products online to really be able to do kind of that one-on-one setting. It's a little bit different than YouTube. I can't do the same thing on YouTube. It just doesn't work. So I really appreciate you guys. I hope you have I can't talk. I hope you have a fantastic Monday, a really great week, and a great Thanksgiving because that's in a few days from now. I don't think I'm going to upload a video on Thursday. I'm either going to just skip it altogether and just upload on the weekend, or I may upload on Wednesday or Friday. We'll see. But you'll be seeing me soon. So with that, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.